Today's youth need teachers, volunteers, and most of all, well, they need you. I'm Doug Edwards, and I'm going to be talking with real youth mentors and students to give you the knowledge you need to be the best youth worker possible. This is Youth Worker on Fire. Okay, Youth Worker on Fire. I'm here at the NRB Expo and International Communications Convention, actually. I have some friends from South Africa.
Hello.
And I just met. They're my brand new friends. And so I wanted to ask you guys about, well, what you're doing right now, you know, where you grew up in South Africa.
Okay.
So tell me about that. Tell them your name.
Okay. My name is Juliet, Oppong-Amoako, and I work for Transworld Radio. I'm based out of the Africa Regional Office in Johannesburg, South Africa, but I actually come from Ghana in West Africa.
Really?
I was born and raised in Ghana, did all my schooling there, and got married and moved out. But in Transworld Radio, I work for the Media Services Department, and we service the region in the areas of translation and production of programs, the scheduling of our programs on the different radio stations, on shortwave, on medium wave, on FM, the compiling, and then, of course, the auditioning of programs. So it's a lot of work, but God gives us the grace. Currently, in Africa, we broadcast in over 70 African languages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's right.
So tell me this. This is a Youth Worker on Fire, Youth Worker Nation. Have you had any influences in your life with youth workers?
Yeah, I have. When I was in high school, I went to an all-girls boarding school in Accra, Ghana. And, girls can get up to all sorts of things and different influences. You're away from your parents and you come into contact with different people, different backgrounds. And a few of my friends were really notorious for, jumping the school wall and going to nightclubs and things like that. But I met a youth worker who worked for Scripture Union. Her name was Grace. I call her Sister Grace. But she would always coach me. She could see that I needed guidance. She was always there for me. She advised me. So through her, thank God, I didn't get into the many vices that teenagers get into when they're in high school. And I'm forever grateful to her. She really kept me on the straight and narrow. There were a few problems at home that I had to deal with, and she helped me through them. And so, thank God for her. I think my life would be different if she wasn't there. I don't know if I would have been part of the status quo of the girls who just messed up their lives.
Yeah.
I'm really thankful for her. She was like my mom in school.
That's awesome. And how old are you when she was working with you?
I was between 16, 18.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great years for a youth worker to really be involved in your life.
Yeah.
I like people to know worst and best moments. Tell me the worst moment in your life to
Wow.
date.
My worst moment.
That you've gone through. That you can share.
Okay. Well, I think it would be in 2009. I was about 7 months pregnant, and I went to, I had breakfast at work, a normal, and then my water broke. I was rushed to hospital. I was hospitalized for 5 weeks, and we lost our son.
Oh.
I had never gone through, I think that's like one of the worst things that's ever happened to me. So yeah, it's a very painful, but through the years, God's given me the strength to carry on, and I'm grateful. I think if I wasn't a Christian, my worldview and how I would handle that would be really different. Yeah.
So now tell me your best moment in life.
Wow, best moment. Well, of course, when I met my husband and we got married, he's such a great man of God. He loves God. So I think we fit in right together. He keeps me in check, sometimes, and I'm grateful. I think he's such a great role model and will be a great model for our kids one day. So
what's his first name?
Winfred.
Winfred.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So how'd you meet?
We met in university. He was a year ahead of me in school. We were in the same faculty, and we were friends at first. And they say the rest is history.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
What would you tell youth workers in South Africa that to encourage them, to help them to go on? Youth workers are like a lot of people, except that they're dealing with the next generation. So the fire is on.
Yeah.
There's a lot of scars that come with working with students.
Yeah.
And what we're here for is to encourage them and to inspire them. What would you say to them about hanging on and not just hanging on, but trying to find a way to thrive?
I would say always bounce things off of God, because every youth is different. Every person is different, and you can't use the same approach for everyone you come into contact with. There's no generic formula out there. We all have different problems, come from different backgrounds. And so always ask wisdom from God for whoever you're coaching or trying to win over for Christ, or trying to help, with the problem that they're facing, because everyone is different. I don't have time to go into my scenario, but in high school, it was quite tough. I wasn't like the other students. I had very unique challenges, unlike the other students, and I was grateful to have a youth worker who was patient enough to work through each of those situations with me. So,
can you tell me one of those challenges, maybe, and the reason? And you don't have to. If it's too difficult, then we won't do that. The only reason I ask, and you don't have to do that, but because obviously it's too painful.
Yeah.
But because people relate with our greatest pains. But just knowing that you had pains, different things that you went through, that's enough. That's fine.
Thank you.
Now you have your friend here. What's your friend's name?
Reverend Abdoulaye Sangho.
Okay.
He's an international director for West Africa.
Well, here's what I want you to do.
That's right.
Now, do you translate from
I don't speak French, so
French?
unfortunately, this is going to be really hard.
He speaks French, and we're going to have him
his
talk a
English
little
is actually not that bad.
Not that
I speak English. I think you should.
Both, right? So, what other languages do you speak?
I speak, my mother tongue is Twi, which is a Ghanaian language, and that's about it. Twi and English are the two main languages I speak.
Say a few lines of greeting or of hope to people in your native language.
All right. Well, Nyamedo into Usudono, Debia no wakona semu, no wachiro de wose uye wo abraboimu. Yamishra mungina. Amen.
What does that mean?
Well, God loves you. Love him back. He's there to see you through this journey called life. God bless you all.
Oh, that's awesome. Tell me your name.
Je m'appelle Abdoulaye Sangho. My name is Abdoulaye Sangho.
Okay, now I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I will just mess it up. But your main language is French, though, right?
Yes, that's the language I have learned since primary school. But my native language is Songhai from Timbuktu.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have you answer some of these questions, one in one language and one in the other, okay? Because we'll reach out and there'll be people who know one or the other of those languages, and they'll want to hear this.
Okay.
So, in those languages, who was that person in your teenage years that influenced you the most?
My uncle, because I have been raised by my uncle. And for me, he still remained a great man, He influenced my life in many ways. Because when I lost very early my parents, I became orphan early. At 6 years old, I lost my mother, and 4 years later, my father also passed away. So I stayed with my uncle's family, and he showed love to me. And because of him, I was able to continue my schooling, and to become what I finally became in my life. So he greatly influenced my life. To tell it in French, je voudrais dire que la personne qui a influencé ma vie, pendant mon adolescence, pendant mon enfance, a été mon oncle. Parce que j'ai perdu mes parents très tôt. Ma mère quand j'avais 6 ans, mon père quand j'avais eu 10 ans. Il m'a pris. Il m'a pris chez lui, il m'a entouré de son affection, de son amour et il a permis que je puisse continuer ma scolarité pour devenir ce que je suis devenu aujourd'hui.
Do you know some youth workers in South Africa that are working with students, teenagers, that sort of thing?
In fact, I'm not living in South Africa. I live in Ivory Coast, in
Ivory Coast.
Côte d'Ivoire, in West Africa.
So great surfing in Ivory Coast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that. And I'm not a surfer, but I have friends who are. And there's movies about the Ivory Coast and surfing. So tell me about living on the Ivory Coast, though. What's life like there?
Yeah, we went through a very difficult time. From 1999 to 2011, Côte d'Ivoire lives a period of trouble, a period of war, a period of difficulties and trouble between the north and south of the country, between ethnic groups. But by the grace of God, since 2011, it's over, and we have peace actually. So that's the situation we have experimented in Côte d'Ivoire for last few years. Je voudrais donc dire que nous avons vécu quelques moments de difficulté en Côte d'Ivoire depuis le premier coup d'État en 1999 jusqu'en 2011. Le pays a été instable, le pays a été divisé en deux, il y a eu la guerre, il y a eu des troubles. Mais par la grâce de Dieu, nous sommes revenus à une situation de normalité où il y a un peu plus de paix, quoique cela demande du temps pour réconcilier les gens, mais par la grâce de Dieu, nous pensons que cela va aller de mieux en mieux.
And I didn't get any of that, but everybody else that speaks French does.
Yeah,
my wife speaks a little French.
Oh, good,
so
good.
she'll like this.
Oh, good.
And I like this too. And now you're working still with the radio
Ministry. We have radio ministry.
Okay, so you're in one place and you're in
another place in Southern Africa, and I'm in West Africa.
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do you guys know each other?
We are part of the same organization. It's the same organization.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Transworld Radio, and we are doing programs in many languages, in all Africa, from North to South Africa. Yeah, we cover the whole continent with our radio programs, and we have radio programs in Arabic for North Africa, French for West and Central Africa, and local languages like Twi in Ghana, Bambara in Mali, Côte d'Ivoire, Songhai, Tamashek, and also in Central Africa, Lingala, Swahili, other languages, Zulu. Many languages.
There are many languages.
Yeah.
Africa is a very large place.
Yeah.
And so many different countries and languages, lots of outreach to do there. So tell me the effects that your radio station has had on your areas and in those areas of Africa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have
then I'll let you just translate that into French.
Yes,
okay?
We have seen a lot of impact of our radio ministry around through our programs. People who came to Christ, who has their life changed, and also Christians who has been discipled through our programs. We have a Bible teaching program called Through the Bible, who is a chronological Bible study from Genesis to Revelation. It covers the whole Bible during 5 years of production and 5 years of airing in many languages in Africa, and it make a huge impact in people's lives. Many even pastors, priests, Catholic priests, they record that program when it's aired, and they use it themselves to prepare themselves to preach the gospel in their church and in the area they lives. So
barriers are broken when things are needed, aren't they?
Yes. We are grateful for this program and for many other programs. Programs who are focusing only Muslims, we have them. We have that kind of program like the Way of Righteousness, Water of Life, and other programs as well. Okay.
You got to go? Okay, do this for me. How can people get in touch with you if they just want to say, hey, we'd love to help or we'd like to at least communicate with you?
Because in English, you can give Campton Park address.
There you go.
You can go to our website, twr.org, and then just sign up. Or if you want to listen to our programs and watch some of the videos, they're not too long, so you can go right there. You can go to twr360.org. That's TWR and then the number 3, number 6, number 0.org.
And tell them your name one more time.
My name is Juliet Oppong-Amoako.
That's great. Listen, Youth Worker Nation, this is an amazing interview, and we are so thankful for both of you being here today and sharing. I know you guys got to go,
Great,
run, and I hate it because there's
Thank you,
a lot
Doug.
more to talk about.
It's been great talking to you.
Great talking to you. Youth Worker Nation, we're out. Youth Worker on Fire.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Youth Worker on Fire podcast. If you like what you hear, please subscribe and tell your friends. Also, leave a comment and tell us what you think. Stay tuned for more informative episodes.